Okay, we're here with Neil Fannan, still here, ahead of the 30th of November Cream of the Crop show. Phil Jeffries and obviously in association with Neil Fannan working together. You've got two fighters on the show, is that right?
Yeah, Thomas and Martin Ward.
Now, Phil's been giving Thomas special praise in terms of he's looking for big things over the next 3-4 years with Tommy. Now, I understand Tommy's just got back from sparring with Scott Quigg, is that right?
Yes, and it went very well. We went down and there was two other sparring partners, and so they shared the sparring between three of them, and when they'd seen Tommy, the other two got paid off, and we done all the rest of the sparring, you know, on 3 or 4 more occasions.
That's the best praise you can really get, isn't it?
Scott Quigg had said to Tommy when we'd finished, the last spar was on Sunday, and he'd said that you do know the world's your oyster. He said, you know, you're as good as anybody. He said, I've ever sparred, I thought. He said, so live right outside the gym. He said, I can see you must work hard inside because you're very fit. He said, live right outside. He said, you can go as far as you ever want to. So it was nice for Tommy to hear that off a world champion, and he was that impressed. You know, he's such a nice lad, Scott Quigg. He offered to drive up to our gym anytime we wanted and to do a few rounds with Tommy, whether he had a fight or not. He says, I'll come up, he said, because it's good for me. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, so you've got, obviously Tommy's following the footsteps of his older brother Martin.
His older brother's class, you know, just, you know, he maybe doesn't get quite as much of a mention now because everybody knows him, you know. He was former Commonwealth champion. He gave it up because of he's moved up in weight. He fought for a world title, you know, just.
I mean, that was tragic, obviously. I mean, in terms of the fight with Hall, it was such unfortunate. It comes with boxing, but what was it? It didn't get past in the second round, did it?
No, second round. It was he's never fought since March because of the injury. It was a career-threatening injury, you know. It was
right in there.
Into the muscle, you know. Just, and the surgeon told me that really to have total healing on a wound like that would take 2 years. Obviously, as a boxer, you can't do that, and he won't be the first and he won't be the last to. It's not rush back, but you know, like it's 9 months since he's been in the ring, or it'll be getting on 9 months. So you know, it's well healed. You know, just it's as much as we can allow.
Yes.
You know,
So in terms of, well, let's start with Martin. What are your plans for Martin? Because obviously he won the Commonwealth, he fought for the world title, but you know, you can't say that it was a failed attempt because it was a no contest because of the head clash. What are your plans for Martin over the next year or so?
I'm hoping that he gets this fight out the road, and then we'll push to the boxing board to put him in like in line for a shot at the British title, and we'll also be onto the Commonwealth for, you know, he give the Commonwealth bantamweight title up, so we'll be hoping that he gets nominated to fight for the super bantam.
Brilliant. And obviously you're fighting at super bantam. There's some well-known names in Britain with that, so there's obviously potential opponents further down the line as well.
You know, I have no worries about Martin. You know, like, we still have ambitions of fighting for another world title. You know, just not. You know, that wasn't the pinnacle of his career, and then just see what he can get from there. You know, like, we're hoping that he can still go on and fight for a world title again.
So in terms of the differences, he hasn't been back in the ring in terms of fighting, but obviously since he's training now for a different weight, what differences are you seeing in the gym?
Well, you know, he was in such an intense diet, you know, like now he's enjoying it again, you know, because, you know, like he's fighting at a more natural weight, you know, so he's enjoying it more, you know, and just.
So is he less angry now?
Yeah, well, you know, like his like we joke on, he is a bit of a grumpy lad anyway, and but he's not quite as bad.
Not quite as grumpy, no, a bit more sleepy, no. So obviously you've worked with Phil for quite a few years now. What's it like working with Phil Jeffries on these shows and on the promotions?
He's good to work with. One thing about Phil, you know, like he's a successful businessman, so he knows how to run a business, and you've got to run the shows like a business, you know, like if you run a promotion like everybody's friend, you wouldn't last very long, you know, just because I think people think promoters are earning a lot of money, you know, like a promoter, a small hall promoter, any small hall promoter will tell you the target is to break even. You know, it's just, boxing is a unique thing really, you know, like I was a boxer myself, and you know, if somebody said to you when you were a young lad, oh, I've got a good sport for you, you know, like you know, you'll get it a lot, you know, you think, I'm not into that, you know what I mean? And it's the same as a promoter. If they said, you know, like your break even point will be £25,000, you know, so why don't you put a show on? And if you're lucky you'll break even, you think you'd have to be mad, and you think it's just boxing. I don't understand some things about it really, you know, like it's just like I've always risked a few bob in the promoting and that, and you think you must be mad. But you know, it's like when Phil said he was going to retire from promoting, I was a bit sad really, but I thought, you know, like just leave him be, you know, and see what you think. And then, you know, he's never really been out the game in a way, you know what I mean? We're back is the last show in July, and then now in November.
So it's like, don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, it's not even, it isn't, you know, because it's
continuation.
We would have only had this show anyway. So you know, it's not a comeback because this would have been our next venture anyway. So. And
then you've got March, and then you've got the July one, and maybe another one in between as well.
Yeah, so it's good, you know. It's nice for the lads to know they have a few dates, you know, just because, you know, it's nice to know what you're actually pounding the roads and hitting the bag for, you know. Just
you have to have a target to work towards, haven't you?
It's brilliant all round, you know. But like, Phil's good at his job, you know. If you're not, he's been about a few years now promoting. If you're not good, you don't last very long. You know, there's a few you see come and go. I've seen, you know, over the years I've seen lots come and go, but you know, you've got to be good at it to keep going. And it's not really a case of earning money, it's just being able to carry on promoting all the time.
Well, you got 2 fighters on the show on the 30th. Best of luck with that then.
Thank you.
And I'll see you ahead of the show as well, but all the very, very best.
Thanks.
Cheers, man.